Hello everybody, I'm John, this is JP Strategic Investments, and today we're going to talk about this Evolv Express, Evolv Technology NCS4 report. And I'm really disappointed because I was really actually excited to get this report. I was really hoping to really see how good their technology is and maybe get as close as an objective comparison between Evolv's technology and Patriot One's technology. But really what we got from this report is almost nothing, because the first thing we see from this report on the very first page, there's a disclaimer here, and it says that due to Evolv Technology security concerns of the data collected during this exercise, the report has been modified for the purpose of public distribution, and the full report can be requested at, and there's a link there. And if you go to the link, it says that only people who are affiliated with either a venue or security personnel who will be or will possibly be responsible for deploying the technology can have access to this. And obviously I'm not one of those people. Even if I was able to get access to the full report, I wouldn't actually be able to tell you guys about it because it comes with a non-disclosure agreement. And so really what we're getting in this public report is not that much information at all, and almost really no information, because if we go down here to where the report, where the results actually start from the report, you can see here that there is another disclaimer here, and this one's even worse. And right here is what I'm reading. This says the specific details of each function, observations, and evaluator feedback can be found in the full report. Basically what that's saying is the details of each function, the specifics of the standards to which each function was being tested, the observations from the actual evaluators, and all of their feedback, you don't get in the public report. And really what that means is we don't get anything, because as you can see from what we're getting here, all it says, like for the first one here, observed the ability of Evolv Express to detect to detect ferrous metals when concealed on a person. The test objects were, basically the NIJ verified test objects, and that's the score. But it doesn't tell us, was the standard 90% of the time that you were catching it? Was the standard 80%, 50%? What were you testing it to, right? The next one, observe the ability of Evolv Express to not alarm on commonly carried items. Okay, was it that it not alarms at all? Was it that it only alarms 10% of the time? Obviously we can see from this one here, they didn't do it perfectly. So, what are we looking at here? It's like telling you, hey, I just went to the shooting range and I hit the bullseye every time. And I go, oh, how far away were you? Oh, that really doesn't matter. But that absolutely matters. We need to know what standard they were being tested to, and really the specifics of the test to even know what the results actually mean. We really can't get anything from this report. It's pretty much worthless because, again, we don't have the standards, we don't have any of the specifics, we don't have any of the evaluator feedback from the evaluators who were actually testing this product. It's really, we're not getting anything from this. And the other thing is here, by the way, guys, I apologize for not getting this video out sooner, but the reason I didn't make this sooner is I wanted to give Evolv a chance to kind of respond. I emailed their investor relations and asked, could you give us any extra context around why you're withholding this amount of information? Is there any way for anybody who's not a security personnel to get access to it? And basically what I was told is they have this technology deployed at a variety of different venues, and divulging the information that was in the report would be irresponsible or would potentially put those venues at risk, and that's why they don't want to release the full report. And how I interpret that is, essentially, we know that there's vulnerabilities with our system, and those vulnerabilities were very likely expressed in the full report, and divulging the full report would divulge the vulnerabilities of our system to the public, which would put those venues at risk of being, those vulnerabilities at those venues being exploited. And I get kind of their reasoning there, but I feel like it's something that people should know. And it's Evolv's choice on how they go about doing this and what they divulge and what they don't, I guess. But the other thing here, and some of the information that I actually got in one of those emails, which kind of makes this even worse, is there's 65 pages in the full report. The report that we have that's available to the public is 25 pages. That means there's 40 missing pages. We actually got less than half of the total pages of the report in this public version. And that is a ton of information that we're missing. And one of the questions that I had, and I'm actually waiting on an email response from this, I haven't got a response, and if you guys are in my Discord, I'll definitely let you know what answer I get to this question. But I'm wondering, did they do two exercises, right? Because remember with Patriot 1, they did the version 1.1, and then they did the version 1.4 about 3 weeks later. But we still got the report within, a couple months or so of when the actual tests were done. I'm wondering, did Evolv do two as well? Because the other thing here is, my question to Evolv, because if you remember, again, Patriot 1 did two exercises. And in the first one, there were some faults. There were some vulnerabilities, right? Around the ankles, the system had trouble detecting things. And there were a couple things with some of the innocuous objects and some of the smaller knives. And then literally 3 weeks later, they did another test, and almost all of those vulnerabilities were fixed. And so my question to Evolv is, okay, what's your problem with doing that, right? Why are these issues that you just can't fix, right? Or what is stopping you? What is the timeline of fixing these issues? Because it seems like Patriot 1 doesn't have any problem doing that. So that is kind of my main question right now, and I'm really curious to know, did they even do two exercises and they still couldn't fix it, and they still don't want to release the full report, because it's really frustrating to only get 25 pages of a 65-page report, and in my opinion, it really doesn't reflect well on the company. But again, I can somewhat understand, not wanting to put those venues at risk, but at the same time, I feel like it's something that people should know. And so, that's just my opinion. Again, it's Evolv's choice with how they want to, go about divulging this information or not divulging this information. It's their technology. But from this report, really, I don't think we get much at all. And honestly, I would love to know what's in the other 40 pages of this report. But it seems like from the response I've been getting from the emails and from the way they're going about doing this, it's probably not good information for Evolv. So anyway, that is kind of my take on this whole report, on this situation. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are thinking. If you're an Evolv shareholder or a Patriot 1 shareholder, what you guys think of this report, what you guys think of this situation. Other than that, I will see you guys next time, and have a great day.